Greetings everybody, I'm here with today's video, and for today's video I'm going to be reading the Bible for Genesis 7 and 8. For the last video we did 5 and 6. I'm going to see what I can do with reading it and explaining it to the best of my ability from what I understand. At the same time, it's like when we come to God and Jesus in the Bible, we tend to believe that's up to my own understanding of what I should do, how does this work, and so forth. But it's like, honestly, I just gotta have faith, you know? Like, it's like, I think I already explained in the last video, but it's like, hey, I have depression. Let me go on YouTube and look up cures, or let me go to a therapist, or like, oh, let me figure things out. Like, let's go from everybody's point of view. At the same time, it's like, for me as a Christian, I need to pray to God through Jesus and be like, hey, I have depression, let's work through this together, I have faith in you, and I will read the Bible daily and have faith. Now, a lot of people can think, well, that's not how it works, it doesn't sound right, like how does that work if you just simply, there's no work? Well, you have faith. Now, a lot of people can be like, well, you can pray and pray and pray, but it'll never answer. Well, it's like, well, are you praying the right way? It's like, hey, I'm going to pray for this. I'm going to try so hard to get this. Or, I don't want this in my life, so I'm going to try my hardest to get rid of this in life. Or, you got to pray, have faith, and understand that you're not going to understand. And that you have to go through things through God's way. So you may not understand it. Why does this happen? Well, it's through God. And it's just having faith. And that's basically how it is, you know? And another thing I want to add is that a lot of people can say, well, the world offers you this, so why do you need God? Well, it's like, well, how does this sound? Gossiping is a sin, for it can come from one person, and then when you get like the next person, the next person, the next person, the story can change, right? And it's like spreading stuff that wasn't from the person that said it. And when it comes to gossiping, people can say, oh, it helps society, it's part of society, you know, it's just normal, it's stuff like that. Like, studies shows that it's good for us, it's good for people. Well, this study is showing of the fallen of mankind, for it's something that relates when it comes to the falling of mankind, right? So when it comes to that, I'm like, okay, so you're relying on something that shows that was part of a failure of mankind when it comes to society or something, whatever the case may be, right? I don't remember more exactly how this works, but it's like, you are relying on something mankind has created, and mankind can say it's good, it can say it's bad. But in the Bible, it says that it's bad, so therefore I'm going to trust and have faith in the Bible and listen to it. For I'm living in a godly world, not a human world, the godly world. And I'm going to live by the Word and do what it means every day. Even though people can tell me, oh, why are you doing this? Why don't you accept this? Why don't you do that? Well, you can't do that because it's wrong. And I'm like, well, my Bible tells me that this is the way, this is the way I should live, and I'm going to have faith in it. Now, a lot of people are going to try to twist my words and twist the Bible's word by saying, oh, then that means you support stoning people to death. And I'm like, no, that is not what I support. The Bible is not something that you obey 100%. Like, it's just everything from page 1 to page to the last. It's like nothing but rules? No. Yeah, it gives you stories, you have to give context. It will help you with answers. It will give you peace. It gives you a lot more than just a set of rules. So I just want to say that before I start today's video. And that's what's on my mind today and so forth. I appreciate you hearing me out. But yeah, let's go through Genesis 7 and 8. Okay. Looks like today's video might be a bit short, so the passages aren't very long. Genesis 7. The Lord then said to Noah, go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found your righteousness in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, and 1 pair of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate. Also 7 pairs of every kind of bird, male and female, to keep their various kinds alive throughout the earth. 7 days from now I will send rain on earth, for 40 days and 40 nights. And I will wipe the face of the earth, every living creature I had made. And Noah did all that the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters came to the earth. And Noah and his sons and his wives and his sons' wives entered the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Pairs of clean and unclean animals, of birds and all creatures that move along the ground, male and female, came to Noah and entered the ark, as God has commanded Noah. And after the 7 days, the flood water came to earth. In the 600 years of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the second month, on that day, all the springs of the great depth burst forth, and the flood gates of the heavens were opened. And rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Let me turn my hands. On that day, Noah and his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, together with his wife and his wives and his 3 sons, entered the ark. They had with them every wild animal according to its kind, all livestock according to their kinds, every creature that moves along the ground according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, everything with wings. Pairs, all creatures that have the breath of life in them, came to Noah and entered the ark. The animals is going in were male and female of every living thing, as God has commanded Noah. Then the Lord shut him in. For 40 days the flood kept coming on earth, and as the waters increased, they lifted the ark high above the earth. The water rose and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the water. They rose greatly on the earth, and all the high mountains under the entire heavens were covered. The water roses covered the mountains to a depth more than 15 cubits. Every living thing that moved on land perished, the birds, livestock, wild animals, all creatures that swam over the earth, and all mankind. Everything on dry land that had the breath of life in its nostrils died. Everything on the face of the earth was wiped out. People and animals and creatures that move along the ground, and the birds were wiped from the earth. Only Noah was left, and those with him in the ark. The waters flooded the earth for 150 days. So everything died. For what was unclean, even what was pure, everything died. Because, well, God didn't like the way that things have happened. For we were pure, if I remember correctly, from the previous verses. Let me read verse 6 again. Yeah, because God saw, I'm going to read verse 6:12. God saw how corrupt the earth has become, for all the people on the earth has corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah, I am going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I am surely going to destroy them and the earth. That goes from verse 12 to 13 on chapter 6. And I feel like when we are the way we are living today in 2025, when it comes to people saying you should do this, you should do that, this is how we are, this is within new times, and so forth, right? And that scares me somewhat. For people can tell me, hey, I'm old school, hey, you're living this way, it's not right, where it's 2025, we should be living this, we should be doing this, we should be supporting that, we should be destroying this, and so forth, right? But it's like, that is what the world has decided. That's not what God has decided. For the words of God, and I'm still reading, and I'm still learning. I'm new to this as much as person watching this video, as well as other Christians and other people. But it's like, at least with growing up, I understand like the concept, and like more or less. And it's like the way that we live today scares me, because it's like, this is how I see it. That this is for us Christians and other people, this can be our hell, and once we die, we'll go up to the heaven. For some people, the way that we get to live now is heaven, but then they'll experience hell later. And it's like, I don't want to live the way the world tells me to. I don't want to. It's like, it's trying to force me to become something I'm not. It's like, with greed, when it comes to doctors, they'll do so much to help you, but the reality, they're not helping you. They only make you worse, or it's only in it for the money. And it's like, well, you never needed all of this, we could really help you, but we're not going to help you because you'll make more money and all that. And that's why I gotta like look for the job that's like the best insurance, and best this and this and this, where the world doesn't even care about you at this point. It just wants to do whatever it wants for its benefits and the suffering of others. So I feel like as long as I ignore the world, as long as it has stuff to teach me and offer me or do anything else involving me, I'm just gonna ignore it. For I know the proper way of living. I know the proper way of what's right and wrong. People can tell me elsewise, but for me, I'm going to continue living the way that God has written. And I'm going to stick by it. Now, I feel like there might be a time, and we are getting to a time where it's not going to be right to spread the gospel, and a lot of people are not going to like what I do. And a lot of people are not going to like the way God does things and everything in the way it's written. But for me and other Christians and other people, we will be following the Word of God, and I will continue to do it until my last breath, where I understand that Jesus is my Lord and Savior, where He died on the cross for our sins, and I am free from sin and all that, and I'm going to give up my life when it comes to all the sins that I have done, and I've given up a lot of things. Since high school, it's been like about 3 years ago since I graduated high school, I've given up a lot of things, and I wasn't even a Christian. I just understood and I felt that this is wrong. The life that I thought was right then is not the way I think it is now. So I'm going to continue giving up sin, and I'm still struggling with sin. And today I will struggle with temptation, and struggled with sin, and I lost. But I'm still going to proceed living with Jesus and God, continue to live in the world of Christ, trying to give up and sacrifice a lot of things in my life, but it'll be for the greater good, regardless if I like it or not, or I understand it or not, because I have faith in the Lord. I'll continue to do that every single day, because that's what I need to do. And earlier today, I'm sorry I'm getting off track, but it's like, I decided, hey, should I be doing this, or should I be reading the Bible? I have time to do. I did some chores. I want to take a break. I can go on my phone, or I can go on my computer, or I can do this and this and this. And I decided, you know what? Let me do this and this and this. I could have read the Bible. I could have done that. I could have prayed. Or I'm struggling with faith. I'm questioning, hey, is this what's going to happen? Is this and this and this? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. What should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Like, I don't understand. But the thing is, though, I should have faith in the Lord. For I prayed, Lord, we can do this together, and I have faith. Now, I may not see the plans. I may not understand it. I'm not going to be given a sheet of paper saying, okay, this is what you do. This is how you do it. This is how it's going to turn out. Time and date, so forth. You name it. No. I just got to have faith. Whatever I'm having doubt in, whatever I'm having depression in, God will help me through it. I just got to have faith. Regardless of the answer, I got to have faith. And that's why I believe you should believe in Jesus Christ and God, because it will help you. Trust me, it has helped me a lot. For I have cried and asked for answers, and I've been given help, regardless if I understand it or not. But it's like actually comforting, knowing that everything is going to be alright. And I may not like it, and there's been times that I have not liked what I received as an answer. And I question it. I'm like, why is this happening? I don't want this. I thought it would have worked out. Like, why is this happening? And God's like, you do not see or understand, but within time you will. For you may not understand it now, but you understand it later, and you will thank me for it. For you may not see the plans, you may not understand it, but it's for the greater good. Now, I've been through a lot since high school. I have. And I just feel like I already explained it. Just having faith in the Lord will help you bring peace. Not the world. I didn't rely on the world. I didn't go on social media. I didn't do anything like that. I relied on God. Now, I believe I should have done a lot more, because back then I just picked what I wanted to do. I just didn't fully devote myself to Christ. But now, as I'm getting closer to Christ daily, I can feel it more and I can understand it more. So I recommend doing that if you want peace in your life and to find a purpose in life. But yeah, thank you. Let's read at the very bottom. For verse 7-9, come to Noah and enter the ark. Gathering and cooperation of the animals must have been arranged by God. It appears that Noah and his wife and son entered the ark. The animals followed on their own accord. And that's when it comes to that. It's like, hey, animals understand us. Animals understand God. For you can ask an animal, like my dog, Oreo. My dog is smart. He knows he's not allowed to get on the beds or on the sofas unless you do this. Now, with my dad likes to sit on his couch. And Oreo will sit and be like this and wait. And when my dad does this, he jumps. Now, a lot of people can say, oh yeah, it's a dog. It's going to do that. It's a dog. But it's like, well, what about other animals? Like wild birds. You can do that with eagles and other types. Same with cats, Some people can say even fish. And that's because they have the brains to understand us. And they understand us and they understand God's will, for God created them. Yeah, everything on this life has purpose. Even when it comes to an insect, or maybe a type of fungus or moss. It may be beneficial, it may not be beneficial to the environment, but it has a purpose. Nothing in this life doesn't have a purpose. I don't see it not having a purpose. Somebody in life has a purpose. Everybody in life has a purpose. Every animal, every human being, every living, breathing thing. Everything has a purpose. So, even though a lot of people can say animals can be dumb, or not smart, they don't understand, I'm like, well, during the ark, they did it on their own. No one told them to do it. No one taught them to do it. They just knew, you know? Alright. Verse 7:11. Springs of the great depth, floodgates of the heavens. Until this time, no rain had fallen on the earth, but it was watered by a mist. Verse 2:5-6. This description of the first rain portrays a thundering, catastrophic event accompanied by a violent upheaval of the earth's crust and geysers of water bursting from the depths. The violence and amount of water involved are more than enough accounts for many peculiarities. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this. Peculiarities on the Earth's surface, such as formation of the Grand Canyon. The flood also explains the enormous quantity of fossilized remains of plants, animals, shellfish that are buried in the layers of rock over the entire surface of Earth and even the top of the mountains. Now, the other day, I went to my cousin's wedding in Utah, and on the way, I passed Arizona, and there was a lot of the Great Canyons. And now thinking about it came to mind, like, wait, how did this happen? No one just placed rocks like that. Now, when you think about the Grand Canyon, for all we know, Earth would have been a lot more than what it is today. Like, we actually had the Grand Canyon and a lot more. And just the Grand Canyon is just a piece of what we had. Now, when you're driving in the freeway and stuff, on the way to Utah or on the way to Arizona, you can pass by the Grand Canyons. And you see that, and it makes me question. So, the flood did all this. So we would have had a lot more land, a lot more this, and look of how nature was. And this could be results of the Great Flood. Now, we all know canyons and stuff are formed by water, and Bill Nye, the science guy, teaches us this, that, well, if water hits the ground, it constantly does it at a constant rate. Over time, the ground itself will lose its shape and form because of the flow and pressure of the water. Now, it's been so much that, look, you got the Grand Canyon, or look, you got the passing by when you go to Arizona. I feel like it's interesting that there's stuff today that people will probably think, yeah, it's because of science or like some other things, but it's like, well, you sure it's not from God? Like, we found evidence that God is real when it comes to being the most, the most when it comes to documents and Bibles and like a lot of stuff and papers and like religion. It's like this is the most proven one. It's like there's a lot of it, more than anything else, and it's like it's been proven. People have died admitting that this is true versus lying and dying. They could have just lied and said, yeah, it's not, no, it's true. I'd rather die than admit it, it's false. And there's been other stuff like clothes, sandals, and stuff, and like locations. And a lot of people can be like, oh yeah, there's like a tower of salt. It could be the one from God, from the story, but we'll never know. But it's nice to know that there's stuff out there proving that Jesus Christ is real and God is real. For the stories here are not fake, but they are happening in the world, and maybe there's something left out there as a reminder to us. You know? Let's see, where was I? Okay. 17:6. Shut him in. The Lord who had drawn them now closed the doors on them. That shut door was a symbol of closure, safety, and God's deliverance. 7:19. High mountains under the entire heavens were covered. This explicit declaration, accompanied by the assertion in verse 21, that every living thing died, making it clear that this was not a localized event, but actually a worldwide catastrophic flood. See verse 8:5. Jesus affirmed the historicity of the days of Noah when he compared them to the end days. Matthew 24:37 through 38, Luke 17:26 through 27. Peter similarly used the story of Noah and the flood as a pattern for the final judgment. 1 Peter 3:20 and 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 5, chapter 3, verse 5 through 6. Alright, we're going to be reading number 8, and that'll be it for today. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark, and he sent a wind over the earth, and the waters receded. Now the springs of the depth and the floodgates of the heavens have been closed, and the rains have stopped falling from the sky. The water receded steadily from the earth. At the end of the 150 days, the water had gone, and on the 17th day of the 17th month of the ark came the rest of the mountains of Ararat. The waters continued to reduce until the 10th month, and the first day of the 10th month, the top of the mountains became visible. Now that I'm thinking about it, when it comes to like the ocean and like the entire world, you believe that that's where all the floodwater went, is the world? Like when we try to explore underwater, we only know up like 5%, which is not a lot. And you see there's like a bunch of creatures and stuff down there. It's like we can't really go in there. Like there's been evidence of like, yeah, there's like something actually down there in the water, and like there's like an actual like underwater. And like you can actually go there to breathe and stuff, and like this has been proven by scientists and stuff. And it's like, well, who knows? Something down there, something we don't know about, or maybe we shouldn't know about, or we should know about. But water is the most dangerous thing because we have nothing to know about. So for all we know, maybe there is stuff down there, but something that God has created and is down there. Or like I said, maybe I like to think that all the water from the flood is the earth now. For me, I find it pretty interesting, if that was to be the case. After 40 days, Noah opened a window he had made in the ark and sent out a raven, and it kept flying back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. And then he sent out a dove to see if the waters had reduced from the surface of the ground. But the dove could find nowhere to perch because of the water over all the surface of the earth. To return to Noah in the ark, he reached out his hand and took the dove and brought it back to himself in the ark. He waited 7 more days and again sent out the dove from the ark. And the dove returned to him in the evening there, as its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Then Noah knew that the water had been reduced from the earth. He waited 7 more days and sent the dove out again. But this time it did not return to him. But by the first day of the month, of the Noah's 601st year, the water had dried up from the earth. And Noah then removed the covering from the ark and saw the surface of the ground was dry. By the 27th day of the 2nd month, the earth was completely dry. Then God said to Noah, "Come out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you, the birds, the animals, and all the creatures that move along the ground, so they may multiply on the earth and be fruitful and increase numbers on it." So Noah came out together with his sons and his wife and his sons' wives. All the animals and all the creatures that move along the ground and all the birds, everything that moves on land, came out of the ark, one after another. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and then taking some of the clean animals and clean birds, and he sacrificed burnt offerings on it. The Lord smelled this pleasuring aroma and said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. Then never again I will destroy all living creatures as I have done. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease." Now, before I read these 3 things, I want to read what it says here. The Lord smelled This is for chapter 8, verse 21. The Lord smelled the pleasuring aroma and said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though the inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. Never again will I destroy all living creatures I have done." Now, because of this, I want to say when it comes to the root of sin, for the root of sin I believe in is lying. As a Christian, we should never lie, for it's the root of sin. That's like the OG sin, right? Now, I feel like when it comes to raising a kid, you should raise it through Christ, through God, and through Jesus. As it says here, when a child is born through evil, because it's evil from childhood when it's in its heart. For we get the same sins from our parents, and their parents, and their parents, and constantly goes back to the beginning. So when it comes to having a kid, you should raise it the correct way, the right way. And me, I feel like one of these ways is simply raising it through Jesus and God and so forth. For you should teach it, hey, do not sin by do not lie, do not cuss, do not steal. And a lot of people could say, well, that's just like basic stuff that you should do, or no, you shouldn't do that. But for me, I'm like, well, I don't know yet. I haven't read the entire Bible yet, but I understand enough that I know what I should do versus the way the world is doing it right now. The world can teach you, hey, you have to teach it this, or you have to do it this way, or don't do it your way. That's bad. That's wrong. You gotta do it this way. Or, oh, what you're doing is old school. You gotta do it with the new times. Well, that child is me and my future wife's child. I want to have a kid one day, and I want to raise it through Christ. Now, I still have a future ahead of me. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But at least I know what I should be doing. The world can tell me elsewise, but I'm going to continue doing it the way through Christ. Like I said, I haven't finished the Bible. I haven't read it completely 100%. Right now, I'm still at Deuteronomy verse 24 or 25, one of those two. I believe it's, 25. But like I said, it's within time. For I do not know what the future holds me, for I don't even know if tomorrow will come. But I'm going to believe and have faith in the Lord, that everything has a purpose, and whatever happens, happens because of God. Not by luck, by faith. Verse 18:4. Was there anything in the last one? Nope, just 3. The earth was dry. After more than a full year, the waters had reduced to their place. 7:11. As in the beginning, God brought the waters on earth onto their place. 1:9-13. The flood began in Noah's 600th year, on the second month of the day, 17:7-11, ended in Noah's 601st year, in the second month, on day 27, 8:14. 8:20, on an altar. This first mention of sacrificial worship since the day of Cain and Abel, verse 4:3-5. And yet we assume that the principle of sacrificing worship was separated through the line of faithful people, chapter 5. 8:22, on as the earth endures. The word of this verse are a poem of powerful effect. These words might easily have become the song of faith, the response of the people of God to the promise he made, verse 21. Later in Israel history, the prophets recalled God's great promise to Noah, Isaiah 54:9-10. So this is a poem. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. And I believe that's a pretty good poem. That seems to be it for chapter 7 and 8. Yeah. I highly appreciate the people here that are actually watching throughout the entire video, reading the gospel. Now, give me a second, I'm drinking some water. Now, when it comes to this, I know people do not watch my videos. A lot of people do not. Some people support me by just saying, oh yeah, I'm going to follow you, I'm going to give you a like, but I'm not going to watch your videos. I know that. I know people do this. And it's like no one really watches the full video. But it's like one day, whatever it's a day, a week, a month, a year, 2 years, 5 years, who knows? Maybe this video will get some views, or maybe it will be very popular. But I do appreciate your time out of your day to watch my video, to hear the gospel, and maybe help you with like accepting Jesus into your heart and living the way through Christ by faith. So I highly appreciate it, and thank you for your support, for watching the video and like understanding and hearing the gospel. For I don't see myself as a church or as an idol or like anything, but I don't want people to like see me like, oh, I'm gonna hear the word and do what you say. But I'm like, no, you should also read the word for yourself and understand it from your own point of view. And I'm like, well, I'm doing this to spread the gospel. I didn't do this to become famous or anything. I'm doing this to spread the word of God, for that's my job. For if I know the way to save somebody, and I'm voluntarily not choosing to save somebody from death, I am also an accomplice to death, because I knew what I could have done to help you. I knew what was the right way to save you, but I voluntarily choose to deny it and just kept it to myself. Where I don't know where in the Bible, but I know it says somewhere that you cannot be a solid hidden Christian. No, you have to spread the word. You have to do this. You have to accept the word of God. You have to preach it, spread the gospel. Like I said, if you know it would help somebody, but you choose not to, that's on me. I know how to help people, and I'm going to do it by spreading the gospel. For many people like to go to the corner and preach and stuff, but for me, at the moment, I don't know if I'll do it in the future, but for me, at least what I want to do is spread the gospel, do YouTube, for that's what I do. For that's like one of the many career choices that I have. But like I said, I thank you so much for your time, for just watching today's video. It means a lot to me. Yes, thank you so much for your support, everybody. Thank you so much for your time, for hearing the gospel. And thank you so much, everybody. And have a good day, everyone.